Hello, hello. Chainsaw Man chapter 196 came out today, and we are going to quickly summarize it before going over other stuff. So, the chapter opens with the Horseman Devil, probably the Death Devil, continuing to be weird around her classmates. Her classmates ignore her, and the teacher leave them. And we are shown this one student who looks like the protagonist of Fujimoto's one shot. Just listen to the song. But anyways, he tries to get her involved with the class, and he asks her to maybe take out the trash. To which she responds that she is too talented to take out the trash, and tells him to take out the trash himself instead. So the other classmates get tired of her shenanigans, and this female classmate had enough. And she tells her to go away and go crush some ants or something. And she does. She go outside and crushes ants one by one. And this imagery is actually somewhat significant because the when Denji, Aki, and the rest of them were sent to hell, ants crawling on the ground was the first thing we saw. So, in some ways, symbolizing that she is maybe connected to hell. She is from hell. She might bring hell to earth, whatever. But also, her crushing ants is kind of like her just crushing human lives eventually, because that's how insignificant both are to her in terms of her ability to do so. But anyways, the male student from earlier came out to once again try to get her to integrate into the class, get her to fit in. And to which she responded by saying that the festival is going to fail, and she puts her hand on his head and tries to kill him, but in a merciful way. And at that very moment, the fake chainsaw man appears from the rooftop of the school. He yells out his Power Ranger catchphrase and then jumps onto the ground in front of them with his superhero landing, and he tells them that he is going to save them. And that's the end of the chapter. So it looks like the Death Devil, might fight this fake Chainsaw Man soon. Um, but yeah, so that's the chapter. So obviously I'm pretty excited to see the return of the fake Chainsaw Man, because he was pretty prominent in the beginning of part two, kind of just disappeared completely for a while, and we get to probably get some answers now. His design is also very metal. He has a cape made out of flesh. His head is like a skull, but double skull, like maybe a skull with a chainsaw helmet on it. Very, very interesting design. I love it. That being said, there are some questions on who this guy is, potentially. So the first question is whether he is even the same one as the previous fake Chainsaw Man, because when he last showed up, which is to rescue Denji from the Falling Devil, he was wearing pants and shoes, which this Chainsaw Man is not doing. But assuming that he just decided to no longer wear pants, understandable, and assuming that they are the same entity, the next question is he human? Because he has a lot of knowledge that a human being that was infected by the fire devil probably wouldn't have, because he understood I guess, what Makima was saying about her thoughts on Chainsaw Man, which is if you ask for help, he will show up. And I guess he was answering to the classmate asking the Death Devil for assistance on the festival. And so he knew of, I guess, what Pochita responds to. So my thoughts are that this guy is probably a devil more so than a human. Because as far as we know, the only one that really has that knowledge is Kishibe. And is he maybe he went off the deep end and formed the contract with the Fire Devil and became that, but unlikely. I think it's more likely that a devil worshipper of Pochita was somehow gotten into contact with the Fire Devil and willingly turned himself into that, which is why he kind of he copied Pochita's true form rather than what Denji shows up as when he does turn into his form of the Chainsaw Man. Because if it's like a guy that admired Denji, that worshipped Denji, he would turn into like the other chainsaw zombies that we see, which is, a guy with a chainsaw sticking out of his head. Whereas in this case, it is a lot more reminiscent of what Pochita's true form looks like. So my idea is that it's a devil that admired Pochita, gotten into a contract with the Fire Devil, and turned into that. Now the remaining question for that is whether he is aware of the devil that he formed a contract with being a justice devil or the fire devil, because in his intro he does say that he's delivering justice with the power of justice. I hope that sounds better in Japanese, but he is claiming that he has the power of justice on his side. So who knows, because the guy did have knowledge of the falling devil doing her stuff. So maybe he's more aware than he lets on. Regardless, he is now that. I'm trying to think. I had something else I wanted to talk about regarding this guy. Slipped my head. But yeah, so let's see if we have any comments for today. This chapter got you thinking. Death Devil shows up a month earlier. The girl that bullies Asa was the same girl that told Death to kill ants. Yes, actually, is she? Let me double check that. I was thinking about it, because did she not get like her head bashed to death? No, you're right. She wasn't. That is the same girl, so you're right. So she really didn't learn much about being nicer to others, which is unfortunate. Let's see. I don't think it's the Death Devil showing up. I think it's the prophecy as a whole. The Death Devil have a split personality. Teacher giving up can be an indication of how Tokyo and Japan have most likely collapsed, and teacher doesn't care about it because there's not much of society. Well, it might be thus that, and more like teachers just being dismissive of bullying in general. Because the teacher in the beginning of part 2 was they didn't really do much about Asa getting bullied. They didn't do much about Yuko getting bullied. So I think it's just like a general teacher attitude problem and less the end of the world. Because the teacher from last chapter, I think he said he didn't believe in the prophecy either. So he's not really too concerned about the end of the world. Reminds you of Asa trying to do Denji's spinal cord. Yes. Quite interesting to tell the Death Devil to destroy ants, as that's her entire purpose in life, to end things, which seems as an important task while taking out the trash is beneath her. Making school a way for kids to enjoy life together is compelling. Better to be what's left of your friends than seeing how the world falls apart. A small way to show the importance of your community. Fake Soul Man is a reverse Chainsaw Man who tries to save a dude. The real Chainsaw Man only saved girls. Also, his white design looks like Black Chainsaw Man inside out. Yes. Let's see. You got a theory that there are two different Fake Soul Men. The one we're seeing is the one from chapter 111. And the one from chapter 128 to 129 is the one that saved Denji. Yeah, I mean, the pants is kind of throwing me off, but I will say this one, the one that saved Denji, seemed more aware than this guy. Like, more composed than this guy is, but we'll see pretty soon, because appearance-wise, even other than the pants, we can't really see his cape either. And his chainsaw looks a bit more, like, organic, whereas the one that saved Denji looked more like an actual chainsaw. So, I don't know. We'll see pretty soon. Black Chainsaw Man is in armor with organs being used as a muffler. White Fake Saw Man is a skeleton wearing his flesh as a cape. Yes. Yes, I think. I mean, let me see this again. Yeah, I guess I was gonna say you can maybe argue some of his skeleton bits can also be like armor-ish things, but it's an interesting way to see it. Interesting how death serves people by relieving them of their suffering, but sees picking up trash as something for lowly humans to do, as she is the all-powerful. Yes. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Let me see. Where was I? I need a second monitor. I can't keep track of the comments. Let's see. Love how Fujimoto is leaning into this one wanting to be a hero so bad he literally has a flesh cape. Yeah. Denji Pochita doesn't have a cape. So I think it's once again reiterating that this devil, this fake Chainsaw Man here, is taking the hero of hell role seriously. What if this arc is about people trying to be heroes, or heroes in general, as Death Devil wants to save people along Fake Soul Man wanting to be a hero? I need to read that again. Trying to be a hero in general is... yeah, I mean, I think the beginning of part 2 features the heroic, like the superhero aspect of the idea a lot more than like after the Falling Devil. Because I think there are some like superhero movie tropes in part 2 a bit. Like the beginning opens with like a montage of civilians' thoughts on Denji. which is something you see in superhero comics a bit. I think there's pretty much like exact same panel layouts in a lot of Spider-Man issues where like they kind of interview civilians and their thoughts on Spider-Man and whether he is a menace to society, like J. Jonah Jameson said he is. Um, Another thing with I guess like the superhero aspect is that in I think in a lot of the second installment of superhero movies, you'll have like the either the characters lose their powers or the characters being forbidden from like doing their superhero stuff. Like I think Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi ones, like Peter loses his powers in that one. Um I think the old Superman movie, the second one, he also loses his power. It's like a pretty common thing across superhero movies, I want to say. I'm sure there's like a couple others that do that as well. But yeah. Let's see, what was I? Flesh Cape reminds me of Glepnir. What is Glepnir? I know that's like the Odin's other thing. He has like a spear. I don't know if that's a spear or the other one. Oh no, that's the rope that tied up Fenrir. Okay, that's why it sounded familiar. Wait, what's Odin's spear then? I could have swore that's what it was. Odin Gungir. Okay. Yeah, I'm not fluent in my Norse mythology. Let's see. I have too many tabs open. Let's see. I wonder if the fake Chainsaw Man's helmet is a reference to Pochita since it looked like he has a dog skull. I mean, I think his whole head shape is based off of Pochita's. There are a bit of an inaccuracy though, since like his Pochita's head is like a big, wide open jaw, whereas this guy is just like a still intact skull, like almost like a normal human mouth. Not maybe not human, but more human-like than Pochita's full form. Um, Actually, not quite. Pochita was not like sticking out either. Maybe I should have pictures up. I think Pochita's jaw is a bit more pronounced, and then this guy's is like a bit limited. Well, maybe it's the angle, but it's like his chainsaw is like a helmet, whereas Pochita is like his head. So it's a bit more. His head is like a bionicle mask, and Pochita is like his actual head. Is how I'm seeing it. Oh man. But yeah, let's see. Funny how chapter 63 is a trip to hell, and this one is called Chainsaw Man to the Rescue, since he is the hero of hell. So the form evolves. If this was an evolution, Fujimoto probably would have wanted to show that. Um, yeah, no, I don't think it's an evolution. Is that what people are saying? Like, he is an evolved Pochita? I don't really see that. If anything, he's like a more bare Pochita, because Pochita has cool armor. This guy is like kind of naked. Um, Glepnir is also a manga. Yeah, that's what like when I Google Glepnir, that actually the manga showed up before the actual Norse mythology definition that I was looking for showed up, which might be an indication of my Google search history because I look up manga more than I look up Norse mythology stuff. Um, Actually, maybe thinking of the Sleipnir. Why there's so many Nirs? Does Nir mean like a spear or like a weapon? Sleipnir. No, Sleipnir is the that's the horse. So apparently Loki made love to a horse, and his horse child then becomes Odin's horse. So, weird stuff. Norse mythology. I guess they're making use of their relatives, make the best out of a horrible situation. Let's see. Fake Soul Man is basically Skull Greymon. What is a Skull Greymon? Is that like a Pokemon? No, it's a Digimon. I never. Okay. I kind of like. I see the resemblance. Yeah, I never got into Digimon when I was a child. In fact, I barely got into Pokemon. I never played any of the Pokemon games. I did watch the show up to, I think, Gen 3, I want to say. Because the last I interacted with the Pokemon anime was the Lucario movie, and then I kind of stopped. But, anyways, let's see. You meant Pochita representing a dog, so fake Soul Man get the wrong interpretation. Alright, I think I lost track of the conversation here. Da da da. Oh, okay. I guess you're saying that he knows that Pochita is technically a dog, so he made himself a dog to be more like Pochita. Yeah, I can see that. Although I don't know if I see the skull as a dog. I can't like I can't imagine in my mind's eye what a dog skull looks like off the top of my head. But I feel like a dog's skull shape would be more like sticking out, like their jaw would be more pronounced if that was the case. But I think the point remains that the fake Chainsaw Man here, like, definitely admires Pochita in hell, which is why he is, doing the whole cosplay bit. Hmm. Ooh, man, I'm so unorganized. I have like 600 tabs open. But anyways, let's see. Someone's gotta call him fake, cause there's no way people gonna call him Chainsaw Man. Well, right now in their world, they have an apocalypse of chainsaw zombies going on. And there is the whole timeline thing. Because if right now is July, then it's been like a year or so since Denji transformed. So people's memory of what Denji was probably have been, I guess, blurred at this point. So I think if they see like a big guy with a chainsaw on his head, they'll probably accept that it's maybe the real Chainsaw Man. But we'll see what happens with that. People were saying that he's an evolution of the one we saw in chapter 128. He could be, because there is apparently a significant amount of time passing between this scene and this scene. So perhaps in the 1 year span, he decided that he doesn't like pants and shoes anymore. He just want to go full of flesh cape, which can also be a possibility. This chapter got you really excited. Fake Soul Man seems so fun. I'm just happy that we are finally once again addressing the whole fake Chainsaw Man thing, because I was afraid that we just moved on from that completely. Maybe Fujimoto wanted us to like think it was just one of the Fire Devil contractees, and he still could be. Honestly, probably is, but at least we'll have a bit more answers on that end. Also, Death probably gonna clock him because she knows what Pochita actually looks like. Probably, yeah. According to Makima, they all fought Pochita together at one point. But I don't think she's particularly concerned about the identity theft aspect. I think she just wanted to free everyone of their suffering, whether they're devils or humans alike. Because she saw him do his intro, she's like, I'll save you as well. So I don't think she's too concerned about Pochita's honor in this case. But it would be fun. It'd be funny if I can't speak. Fake Cell Man is Pochita's version of Beam. Well, I think Beam was Pochita's. Wait, Fake Cell Man Pochita's version of Beam. Oh, I guess you're saying that like Beam, since Beam was a fan of Denji, and now this guy is a fan of Pochita exclusively. Well, I don't think Beam was ever a fan of Denji in that sense. Cause he even before he met Denji, he was a fan of the chainsaw in him. So it's not like he was I think he and Beam are like the on the exact same wavelength. Except he took it one step further and he actually turned into his idol. Because Beam he was never like really loyal to Denji for who Denji is. He was loyal to Pochita, or his view of what Pochita was. And he was even like giving Denji tips on how to be more like Pochita. When he told he told Denji that Pochita used to use this chain to like swing around, and then Denji took it another way and turned him into a horse. But anyways, so overall, pretty excited for what comes of this. Looks like he's going to fight the Death Devil pretty soon. Not a great future for their school and the festival if that does happen. But yeah, that's about all I have for now. Um, pa 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 pa. I think I've exhausted everything I can talk about because most of the conversational topic is around the fake Chainsaw Man. Nothing really happened from the start. I guess the introduction of this guy is interesting too a bit. He kind of explores the state of the world they're in right now. The kids are suffering. You see him having a random injury on his cheek. At first, I thought that might be like a result of bullying, but he doesn't really seem to be that much. Like his classmates don't seem to be too antagonistic towards him. So, because he was also talking about like the people dying from devil attacks, possibly he was attacked by a devil pretty recently himself. I don't really know what more he's going to bring, because if Fujimoto modeled him after a character from a previous work, you would think that he is going to play a role in the future, but I can't imagine what other than just befriending the Death Devil. Um, I guess on the parting note, I'm pretty glad that we get a confirmation that she is the Death Devil pretty soon. Because there was a significant amount of people that were saying that she would be the Control Devil. Which, I see why, because of the Nostradamus' timeline, but, I feel like narratively doesn't really make sense for the Control Devil to show up without meeting Denji. And also we got established that the next Control Devil's arrival would be coincide with the Death Devil's whenever she starts doing stuff, the date of the prophecy. So, alright, I've been saying too much. Honestly, I just wanted my video on Nayuta the other day to not be wrong. And I'm glad that it hasn't been so far. Let's see. But yeah, so I guess that's all I have for now. No chapter next week. Next chapter comes out March, I think 25th, I want to say. So I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'll try to upload a video before then. No guarantees because I'm very good at procrastinating, but we'll see. But yeah, thanks for showing up and discussing the chapter. I'll see you guys whenever the next chapter drops.